Hello, everybody, and a really warm welcome to another courageous conversation, a Tree Sisters courageous conversation. And we've had some technical difficulties with Facebook Live this morning, and so we're rather late, but we're really happy that you've hung on in there and waited, because this morning I will be talking to the really fascinating Barbara Donohue. And I'm really hoping that this works because we've had a bit of difficulty. So you might have to bear with us as we bring Barbara on camera. But in the meantime, I am just going to read you her bio. So Barbara says, I am an ecologist, herbalist and artist living in rural northeastern California. I have lots of college degrees in forestry, wildlife biology, and advanced degrees in wetland ecology and plant ecophysiology. I've walked a long journey with our mother Gaia since I was a small child, seeking knowledge of her features, her cycles, her creatures, and above all, to acknowledge and honour her spirit among the varied landscapes. The emphasis of my career has been in restoration ecology, the repair of environments, protection of special status plant and wildlife species, and wetland habitats from project impacts. I am a newbie to Tree Sisters, having been with this tribe since last December. I'm really excited because Barbara is here. I can see her. We just have to manage the bit where we bring her on camera. So if you can make that request, Barbara, to come on camera, then I can let you on. And everyone else will have to bear with us. So these courageous conversations are really about celebrating the courage and the wisdom and the amazingness of the women in the Tree Sisters network. And we have some seriously amazing women in our network. And we've just come into the month of Shine in our inner journey, which is all about women letting their light be seen. And so it's very exciting to have Barbara come on. If we could just get her on camera. I'm hoping that you've made that request, Barbara, with the button to come on. So while we're waiting, something that's really exciting that you might not know about, which has to do with courage and shining, is that we have a amazing course coming up which Claire is going to facilitate. Hi Donna in Perth. Claire's going to facilitate this wonderful course called The Courage to Shine and share with all of us the tools and processes that she's used to get out of her own way and step forward into leadership. And I'm really excited about that. And the intro call for that is happening today, I think. Very early in the morning, Australia time, tomorrow morning. So Barbara, I'm actually going to see if I can add you. Excuse my fingers on the camera. No, that's not working. This seems to be a theme. Let me see. Okay, add. See, I've clicked to add Barbara, and I'm hoping that we're going to have it work. We did just get it to work in our test group. So, okay. Oh, yay! We did it.
I am so surprised to be here. I just can't tell you.
I'm so glad that you're here and that we actually managed to get this to work, because it was very touch and go there. So,
Rose, I wish this was a little stronger. I say thank you.
A really warm welcome to Courageous Conversations. I'm really excited and happy to be talking to you. So I have known Barbara in a journey for some time, but I've never actually had a conversation with her, which is really exciting. So I would love it if you would begin, Barbara, by telling us all why you are a tree sister.
Oh, big story. It's interesting. I've only been a tree sister for less than 1 year. I think I came across Tree Sisters in a Facebook page saying you might be interested in this. And I plunged onto it and put my earplugs in to listen to the first talk. And it was Claire. What I did was listen for 5 minutes. And then I took my earplugs out, pop. I walked into the kitchen, put my hands on my hips, and I said, that woman of Tree Sisters is speaking words of power. I said, she's speaking words of transformation, words that pierce, words that change. I don't know what I think about that. That was a curious reaction, but it was true.
Yeah.
I, of course, went back to the conversation, put my earplugs back in, and said, I'm willing to hear and see where this goes, because there's something that happens with words. There's something that happens with the human spirit and how we respond. And I found this surge of response come out of me listening to Claire and the first two speakers of the inner journey. So what happened is the fact that I'm a woman of nature. I have a lot of work in nature, a lot of work outside, a lot of studies, watching. I've been working in restoration ecology for a long time. But what got me was the fact that the inner journey did something that I wasn't able to do myself, which was a bringing together of spirit with mother. I've been watching her a long time. I've been out there a long time. And so the Tree Sisters struck me because the words got into me. I began to change. I began to relate on a much deeper level with mother than I ever have in my life. And so I'm in here. I'm in here with all you women, and plan to stay.
That's really beautiful. Thank you. So aside from being in with mother and planning to stay, what do you think being a tree sister has given you?
It's remarkable. A couple of different items. Number one is it's given me courage. It's given me courage to share information more openly about what I know and understand of climate change. It's given me courage to reach out to other women as partners and as leaders in our small communities for taking on responsibility of springs, of taking on responsibilities of waters, of taking on responsibilities of planting, of taking on responsibilities of circle, ritual. Never had ritual in my life. I do now, which is a sense of thanksgiving and a sense of respect, a sense of belonging. I belong to this world much more closer. And Tree Sisters, what I like about it is planting trees, basics. Plant trees, as many as we can get in the ground as fast as we can, through as many communities as they can, because what I know is that plants and trees fix CO2. And they create all kinds of microclimates. They create cooling. And it's a real positive change there where I can put my energies and my money where I can see some effective change within the next 10 years. So
yeah, wow. I just got like shivers all up my back when you were talking about belonging. It kind of makes me want to cry a little bit, and I wondered if you wanted to speak to that a bit more, to that sense of belonging.
we are all feeling in our cultures so separate from one another, so separate from the ground out there, so separate from our lives, separate from our sense of clanship, our sense of tribal, our stories, our histories, who our ancestors are. What I have learned, which Tree Sisters, through the inner journey, has given me the opportunity of contacting some of these teachers, which I did going, I've been out here and you make so much sense. But it's giving me a clan to work with. I've made good friends through Tree Sisters that I laugh, I cry, we swap recipes and stories. But my sense of belonging is deeper than that. What I didn't realize prior to Tree Sisters was when I walk outside and I take in a breath, the air knows me. When I walk on the earth with no shoes on, the earth says, that's Barbara.
Mm.
I didn't realize when I look at a tree and call it a tree, that keeps it separate from me. By calling it something it is not. It's everything but what I think a tree is. As I jokingly say in some of my writings, it's everything but green. I mean, green is not its color. It's not using that color. That's the color it reflects out. So what is this magnificent thing sitting out there that's just radiating all this life and light? And I'll just call it a tree. It's almost guttural. That's a tree. No. It's this veil. It's this veil that Tree Sisters is allowing me to put down and to begin to walk through in love with you, with lots of other sisters, with this planet. It's a personal planet, which I never thought of. Our culture says, it's there to use. You know, you want a piece of glass, we're going to go dig up the beaches. Okay, we're going to give you glass. That's not a personal view of the world, and the world is totally different than I expected it to be. I understood a lot of it, but not at this level. One thing about Tree Sisters is being a circle. We all enter wounded. We all enter equal as wounded and in wonder and trying to think of who we are. We begin to rise with awaken. We begin to rise with embrace. We begin to rise as women, not separate, you and me, but together and connected. As you connect with me, I connect with you, others connect, and we form an incredible network of frequency, of intent that is powerful.
Yeah.
So, yeah, powerful to bring about change. Yeah.
And so I'm just thinking about you as an ecologist and a herbalist, and having done all this study on forests, and that it must be a radical shift then at this point in your life to go from a tree being a tree and green to this other realization. Like, how has that been for you to move into that different way of seeing the world? Has it been easy or difficult?
I've thrown up. It has been. It's not easy to change the mind. It's not easy to change how we learn to look at things. It is, and continues to be a strength, a challenge in a way to release myself to a new way of understanding. But I'm excited. I am so excited to walk out every day, to take a look and say, what color is your hair this morning, Mother, with the sunrise? But it has changed my life. My connection right now that is able for me now has literally changed my entire life, my entire spirit of looking at the world, of the hope that lies in it, of the great resiliency for healing. And I've seen that in my work, watching people move mountains and I'm there to help put them back and build wetlands and habitat. But now it's more personal, you know? So I don't know if I'm answering your question, but that's the best shot I'm going to give you.
You are. And I really love that sense of everything out there in nature becoming more personal, because I feel that too. Like I feel that same sense that the ground recognizes me when I'm barefoot, and the especially the feeling of everything that is here is the same, is all the same things that have always been here. You know, the water is the same water and the atoms are the same atoms, and we're all made of the same stuff that's just kind of cycling through. So yeah, that really, your answers are actually really touching me. So in terms of your personal journey with courage, how has that been for you? Like, do you see yourself as a courageous woman, and what does that mean? Or are you somewhere else on the spectrum with that?
It's funny, I have a picture of myself when I'm 3 years old with my twin sister. I'm 2 years old, and I have a fist in my hand. I'm mad then. I'm mad now. I've been courageous. I've chosen things in my life, both learning, work, how I did my family, everything, a little bit outside the box, you might say. It's taken great courage for me to walk into, as first generation of women, to walk into the field with men, to say we are of equals here, we have gifts to offer. And the guys would look at us and say, okay, pick up that 100-pound pack over there to prove to us that you can be here with us. And we did. I did. We did. Women in environmental studies now don't have a question of their place. They merely walk through the doorway to be a part. Whereas I'm 64 now. I'm going to be 65 next spring. So we were first generation, which took a lot of courage, a lot of BS, a lot of hard work to pave a way to say, let us enter in this conversation. And it's the same thing when it comes to the courage to look at one's woundedness, to look at our culture, to look at the heart that wants change. It takes courage to say, I'm willing to go with that change. I'm going to sing. I'm going to put it outside the box. I'm going to say, I have a place here as equal as the doe or the deer or the elk or the badger or the microbe or the tree or the flower. I stand as sister with them. And it takes courage to do that in this world that doesn't honor that. So yeah. I'm choosing to rise. I'm choosing to rise. But I have my days where I weep. I go outside and I weep and say, what can I do? And how do I stand? And how do I sing hope into a world gone mad, you know? And so my courage is day by day. Tree Sisters helps with that. My friends in Tree Sisters help with that, okay?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found that too, that the support and the encouragement of the sisterhood it feels to me like it's always at my back. So when I go and do something, I know that those women are there and that they're going, yes, you can. Yes, you can. And if you fall on your face, if you fall on your face and you make a complete ass of yourself, you can come back here and cry, and we'll just say, it's all right. It's all right. Don't worry about it. And to, you know, like now I can't imagine not having that, but because it's so having the support of other humans is so central to finding our own courage because of the
Yes.
feedback and
Yes.
the encouragement and the love, and the space that we've all co-created in the inner journey is very open and very supportive. So, and I really feel like what we've done in there is actually create a platform for courage that is allowing women to take those steps that they always wanted to take but somehow didn't. So
well, it's like
yeah.
I can watch one of my sisters do something over here, or I can enter a new art form I'm working on. I'm not an artist. I've never taken a single class, but I do art. Yeah, to see what I've done since I joined Tree Sisters. Woohoo! But it's them that will go, you got me. You got me. And it's like, oh, yes, yes, okay. Or if I have doubts about something and I write, it's a fragile platform, the Tree Sister Circle is, in regards that it relies so much on technology. We are miles away from one another.
Yeah.
If it's taken from us, if somehow through technology, solar flares, it's taken from us, I remain in union. I remain in circle. I remain with the forest floor, with my sisters in the world.
Yeah, that's very beautiful, and it's a good point that you make about also that we are relying to a certain degree on the technology. And you have a grove, do you?
I have a circle, yes, I do.
Yeah, and so can you share a little?
We're just starting to form it.
Right. Can you
We
share
first
a little
started as a bunch. We first began a circle as an older women's group.
Right.
Things change when you age. As you get older, you become more freer, believe it or not, because I no longer have children. My children are grown out of the house. I've been wife, I've been mother, I've been teacher, I've been professional, I've been supporter, I've been all these things in life. But as we older now in our 60s, we don't have to do that anymore, which gives us a little more space, just a little more space to stretch. I was speaking the other day with my group, and it's begun as an exploration, a place for ritual, a place for speaking, a place for art expression of this time in our lives. What we didn't realize, though, was how powerful our voices can be at this stage. We have nothing to lose. We were talking about the springs the other day up on the National Forest, the condition of springs after grazing. And immediately the hearts came together. Yes, we want to protect and restore the voice of springs. We want to, move forward into the environment, which we all care for very much. So we began meeting last winter, and again, Tree Sisters, thank you. And now it's beginning to form into something more, which is hands on the ground. So I'll let you guys know about that later.
Yeah, and what does it mean for you to what is the difference, and what does it mean to you to come together in person like that? Is there a different quality of connection?
Yes, yes. We come together in trust. We come together in support. We come together in equality. All voices are heard. All expressions are valued. There's a sacredness of circle, of grove, that has an egalitarian approach to it, you might say, an equalizing approach to it, I might say. Where as one, we don't feel so strong, but when we come together in circle and interface and hold both witness and space for one another and strengthening, it makes us strengthen one another. And so we get more bolder. We're more bold. We be more bold, yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool. It's interesting. I went to a Rights of Nature workshop yesterday, which was fascinating. And they were talking about communities and the way that the law is set up that just favors humans and not any other non-human living beings on the planet, that the law is all anthropocentric. And they were talking about the boldness of communities, and there's these communities across the United States who have redrafted local laws to protect their communities and the nature in it, and they've got bolder and bolder. So they've even made local laws that make civil disobedience legal, so that, you know, if things happen that they don't like, that they're legally entitled to be disobedient. And it was so wonderful to be there in this room full of people who were together in their love for planet and nature, and who were, you know, getting into that boldness. Like, wait a minute, we can say that, you know, the law is supposed to serve community, and if it doesn't, well, then we actually refuse that. We're going to change it. And yeah, I love that. And I think that you're right, that coming together in person really allows that boldness to flourish. Yeah. So I'm just thinking a little about the time, and I would just really like to invite you, if you have a message about Tree Sisters' mission and the way it touches you, for any women who are new to Tree Sisters, and what that would be.
The word that comes to me is, I just speak blessings. Tree Sisters, although small right now, small when it comes to a worldwide influence, it only takes a few to turn the tide. It takes a few combined in vision, in commitment, in love, in love, to turn the tide. We're in a great period of turning right now, huge period of turning. It's going to turn whether you're involved or not. What I say is, Tree Sisters, as being a part of bringing that awareness of the turning more to the front, is actually empowering. It has, my sense of self, I know, has strengthened immensely. Tree Sisters offers the resolution of environmental work that can make effective change. I have absolutely no doubt in that whatsoever. The feminine empowerment that is offered through the teachings and through the classes and through one-on-one contact with other Tree Sisters, etc., is it's altering my vibration. It's altering what I can offer to this world to heal and to join and to offer hope. So have at it, girlfriends. Jump in. That's what I say.
That's really fabulous. Yeah, I love that. So, and it's true what you're saying, because I also have felt that through my involvement. I've become more and more able to be myself in the world, and to speak my truth, and, you know, love nature in a really passionate and open way that I might have hidden before, you know. So that's really wonderful. Thank you so much for that. And I just would like to invite anybody who's watching to just be in that that knowing that it takes all of us to hold this beautiful world, and to invite you to step in and donate for the trees, because we've got some really amazing projects. And as Barbara said, those trees are cooling, they are storing CO2, they're drawing up water from under the ground, they're providing us amazing shade, which we definitely need in Australia, because it's very, very hot here and getting hotter. So step in and donate for the trees. And next Wednesday, we have another courageous conversation that Samuel is going to do. And I would love to leave this conversation, Barbara, with one last snippet from you, anything that you would like to offer as a last word just before we go.
I can only speak all honor. And Pollyanna, I've seen you changing. Even online, I see you changing. Let the sparks and flames fly from your fingertips, man, girlfriends. You know, it's here for release. We receive with our left, let go with your right. Put that hand out and release for change. Do not be afraid in this time of turning. You're going to feel fear. Don't let it hold you, okay? That's part of the birthing process into this turning. Come forward. We're here for you. We're here for you. But Pollyanna,
Yes,
I see
are.
sparkles coming out of you. You bet I do. Yeah, we do.
Thank you so much. I've loved talking to you. And yeah, thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
All blessings. All blessings. Bye-bye.